I mean, what I've realized from writing this book about mental health is that humans, we're really not that complicated. We like to think of ourselves as these magical, mysterious things. We're just complicated plants. We need light, we need water, we need oxygen. We're very connected to nature, and our thoughts and feelings and emotions, they don't come from this ephemeral place where we have no control over how we think and feel. They're just brains reacting to signals from our bodies. Anxiety is just our body trying to protect ourselves from a dangerous situation. And yet how it manifests in our modern brains is this weird, terror about a social situation you can't quite put your finger on. But when you break it down and go, hey, wait a minute, mental health isn't this thing that controls my life that I was born with. It's like, actually, we're all just people and machines and bodies and biological things, and we can just do things that change how we think and feel. And for me, as someone that has really just struggled a lot of my life with mental health, thinking I'm just broken, I was built that way, sometimes I just feel bad and there's nothing I can do about it. That's wrong. There's something you can do.
It's easier. That's kind of like the throwaway way to say it. It's easier to sort of blame a disease. But it's like, I understand that sometimes you're stuck in a cage and like you need things like antidepressants and therapy and things like that, and like to kind of help you break free. But to get to a place where you recognize that you are in control of this and that the mind is kind of like the secondary passenger and you need to retrain it. I mean, it's a lot of times, and I've done a lot of this stuff too with different aspects, not necessarily depression or anxiety, but other aspects of my life, of patterns that would show up. And I end up realizing, holy crap, this is my 6-year-old self.
Yeah, those profound therapy moments. You're like, I'm not that cliche. Damn it, I am that cliche. I'm stuck in that moment from my 5th birthday party. It's a human experience. And this is like, a lot of people, they have this idea that mental health is just for people that have crippling anxiety or people that are like suicidally depressed and they have a medical problem. But mental health is just how you think and feel at any given moment. And it's something that all humans have. So people go, I don't need therapy. I don't need to read a book about mental health because I'm fine. And it's like, yeah, but how stressed are you? How much do you worry in a day? What is your mindset that completely controls your outlook on the world, from how you perform in your career, how you deal with your relationships, and most importantly, on a day-to-day level, how do you talk back to the own voice in your head? Because for me, my experiences in life, I went through a lot of bullying when I was a child. I had a very upsetting time for the first 18 years. It built me to be this very cynical, defensive person. And my first instinct, the first voice that would pop up, was always that self-sabotage, self-doubt. And that's not the truth. And what's so important is being able to stop, like look in the reflection of what's really going on and think, is this the truth? Or actually, am I kind of sabotaging myself in this way? And it's something that every single human on earth goes through, but most people go through their entire lives without questioning it.
Yeah.
Wild.
I feel like people might be hearing, and especially if someone is kind of stuck in that spot where they're like, no, like this is a disease. I'll have this forever. And this is just something I have to deal with, or something like, you don't get it. It's a lot worse for me, right? I can imagine if someone is listening that isn't able to hear how much accountability they can and should be taking for their life, they might be thinking, you don't have it as bad as I do. So I think it's probably important to explain and unpack like what depression looked like for you, for someone to go, oh, he was there.
Oh, definitely.
I can
I was
like, maybe I can do this.
Exactly. And that was me. I felt like some days I would wake up and I would be in this like deep depression. I'd be like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to lie face down on the floor. And I would tell myself, this is just a bad day. It's a write-off. Like the whole day is gone. And unfortunately, that's not true, because there is always something you can choose to do to change your environment, your way of thinking, what you're doing, why, that can snap you out of it. And I don't resent myself for that, because that kind of procrastination of going like, this is too hard to deal with, it comes out of a place of fear, which is completely understandable, because it's terrible. If you have awful anxiety, if you are really stressed, if you are seriously depressed, maybe you're grieving or something like that, it's horrible to go through. So of course you want to tell yourself like, I just want to give up and I just want to be defeated. And so many people are at different points. and everything helps. So for some people, they need the medication to give them that strong foundation so they can then make changes to their lifestyle. Because this is me, I've been on antidepressants, and there was a period of my life where I couldn't snap myself out of it or readjust my mindset or change my lifestyle to be better for my mental health. I couldn't get out of bed. I needed the antidepressants to stabilize my mood. There were points where I couldn't have these conversations with myself because I didn't have the self-awareness or the perspective to realize how toxic my self-perception was until I spoke to a therapist, and she was like, boy, you're crazy. This is, what you're saying right now, it's not true. You just have this awful perspective of yourself. And not only is it making you sad, but it's stopping you from growing as a person because you're just holding yourself back out of fear, and you can't stay trapped there. So for so many different people, this is the thing. There's all the knowledge out there. And when it comes to mental health, there's so much misunderstanding. It's like, is it a medication thing? Is it a therapy thing? Is it just, knowledge and lifestyle changes? And it's like, it can be all of that. We're all built differently. You have to see what works for you. But the most important thing is you can't just let life go by without trying to make it better. Because when you make that change and you become healthier and happier, everything in your life just multiplies.